Hi, I'm Mike Morse from the Mike Morse Law Firm. I'm thrilled to be here today from Encourage Me I'm Young organization. They asked me to read this great children's book to you all, so that's what I'm going to do. The Adventures of Oba and Luther, created and written by Calvin T. Mann. Young Luther is curious about where he and his family are moving. He asks, "Dad, do you think I'll meet some friends my age?" His father, Mr. Cunningham, responds, "Luther, I am sure you will meet all kinds of people here. There are some great schools here, like Bell Cole Middle School. Luther, I'm so excited for you." "Thanks, Dad," Luther replied. The movers are still taking stuff into the house as they pull into the driveway. Mr. Jenkins says, "Welcome to the neighborhood." They shake hands. As the movers are just about done, the Jenkins family head home. Then Luther turns to Oba and says, "Hey, Oba, what's it like here?" Oba answers, "It's very interesting. Every day I get to go on an adventure. Of course, my parents don't know, but Abu makes sure that I always come home." Luther says, "Abu? Who's Abu?" "Oh, you will see," replies Oba. Suddenly, Mrs. Cunningham calls Luther and he takes off yelling, "See you tomorrow, Oba." The next day, Oba is standing in front of his home playing with his baseball and glove, throwing the ball in the air. "Hey, Oba," says Luther. Oba replies, "Good morning, Luther. How did you sleep last night?" Luther answers, "What an amazing night. I slept very well, but I kept dreaming about your friend Abu. What does he look like?" "He's just an old wise mole that helps me." "Hey, can you ask your parents if you can go to the field to play baseball with me?" asked Oba. Luther runs home and asks, "Mom, Dad, can I go with our new neighbor Oba to the park to play ball? It's right up the street." They both said yes. As he leaves, Mom says, "Your father said, be careful." They began to walk up the street. Oba explains to Luther that there are some guys he's going to meet and play baseball with. They are friends of Oba. Suddenly, they hear a rumbling noise from the ground. A surprised Luther asks, "What in the world is that noise?" Oba says, "Oh, that's Abu." Out of the ground comes Abu, the wise mole who wears an African cap known as a coffee. Abu explains, "Well, hello, Oba. What might our adventure be today?" Abu whispers, "Listen, if you go to your right, there are some kids who are in the same age group. However, they may be just a little rowdy." But he chuckles, "If you go left, everyone is in the same grade as Oba. Luther would be the youngest, but he will be accepted." Luther asks Oba, "Which way do you choose?" Oba thinks for a moment and asks Luther, "Which way do you think is best?" They decide after talking to each other. Oba tells Abu, "We want to go left." Just then the road opens to them and Abu says, "Proceed, young men. Enjoy your decision. Remember, you can do anything you want. Live your greatest dream." As Abu and Luther leave, Abu disappears just as quickly as he arrived. Oba and Luther arrived at the park. No one was there yet, so they began to play catch. "Nice catch, Luther," said Oba. "Thank you," said Luther. "Hey, try to catch this one, Luther," said Oba. As the ball began to come down, a group of kids ran over yelling, "Hey, Oba!" The group of kids asked, "Who's your friend, Oba?" "This is Luther. Let's go play some ball," said Oba. The game begins. The guy at first base yells out, "Hey, how old is Luther?" Oba replies, "He's 9. "Okay," the first baseman says, "let's go." Luther wants to watch before getting involved in the game. Oba walks over to him and says, "Come on, they want you to play and will help you with whatever you need." Luther will be shortstop when they get on the field because Oba thinks he has a strong arm. The game begins and Luther asks if he can bat first. His teammates tell him he has to work hard if he's going to be up first. Oba agrees and Luther is first to the plate. Oba doesn't know it, but Luther's uncle taught him how to bat pretty well. The first was a strike. Luther's teammates said to him, "It's okay, young guy." On the second pitch, Luther swings and whack! The ball is hit deep and it's a double. Oba chuckles as he walks to the plate. He looks at the faces of the other team because they didn't think Luther had a chance. Oba is smiling, waiting on the right pitch. He hits the ball and it's a double, bringing Luther home. Oba yells out, "Nice job, Luther." Luther replies, "You too. We're up 1-0. The game continues, and Oba as well as Luther were having a great time. Luther gets a hit and headed for second base, then turning for third base. He is tripped by the shortstop, who says, "Whoops!" Luther falls and has to go back to second base. Oba yells to Luther, "Are you okay?" "Yes, I'm fine," says Luther with a determined voice. They play on, and Oba and Luther's team is winning the game 3-2. Then the other team takes the lead on a long shot in the corner. The score is now 4-3, last inning. As they are exchanging the field, Oba approaches the shortstop and stops the entire game. He says, "Before we finish this game, I think you owe Luther an apology for tripping him." The shortstop says, "I don't owe him anything. He is younger than all of us and shouldn't be playing." Oba, being the team leader, calls Luther over and asks, "Luther, do you think he tripped you on purpose? If so, would you apologize if it were you?" Luther thought about how his parents always taught him to be honest. He could see his mom saying, "Luther, always tell the truth because lying only makes things worse." Luther then answers, "Yes, I would apologize. I honestly thought he did it on purpose. I'm not hurt, though." Oba asks the shortstop, "Were you trying to bully Luther? Maybe intimidate him? Can you be honest like Luther?" Everyone is watching. The shortstop looks around and says, "I'm sorry, Luther. You were better than I thought, so I tried to trip you up. Will you forgive me?" Luther shook hands with the shortstop, and the game goes on. It's getting late in the day, right around dinner time, and the game is a good one. It's 2 outs, and as usual, up to bat is Oba. Luther is on base. In all the years Oba has played baseball, he has never done well in this situation. He flashed back to when he played for the Bell Call Middle School's team in the spring. They were up for the championship, and he struck out. Oba gets up to bat, and Luther shouts, "Oba, you're about to make this the greatest day for me. I've never won a game like this." Oba chokes up. His first swing is a strike. Luther yells, "I believe in you." Now Oba focuses and hits a triple, bringing home Luther. Oba gets a walk off the triple. The teams met in the middle, jumping up and down. "Great game, guys," says Oba. Suddenly Oba hears his dad call out, "Oba Jenkins, time to come home." Oba and Luther started walking away. The field clears, and suddenly they are back on the block walking home. Oba says, "Luther, how did you like our adventure today?" Luther says, "What a day, Oba. We had a great time as friends. That was awesome." "Oba, I hope you will be my friend. My parents like you, and I do too." Oba smiles and says, "Thank you, Luther. I like you too. See you tomorrow." Oba gets home, and he is excited to tell his father about the entire day. "Dad, Luther can really play baseball. We won the game. He played well for a young guy." Dad chuckles, "Did you learn any lessons today?" Oba said, "Yes, I sure did. One of the guys tripped Luther. I stopped the game to say something when the time was right. Then Luther told the truth that he was tripped by the shortstop. Being a friend is about honesty and support. Right, Dad?" Dad answered, "Yes, son." The shortstop admitted and apologized for trying to trip Luther. It was just before the last inning. Dad smiled and said, "Good job, son. Always being a leader.